Thank you, honorable members. Let me respond. I will stand up and do that. Our Honorable President, Ismail Toroama, the Vice President, Honorable Ezekiel Massad, Honorable Member Blo Atolls, who is the women's rep in the caretaker government named by the President on Monday, Honorable newly elected members of this House, former members who have been re-elected, continuing members from the first, second, third, and the fourth House. Congratulations. Congratulations as we begin the life of this fifth House of Representatives, which began with today's inauguration. Let me acknowledge and recognize the presence of the Deputy Speaker from the National Parliament, the Deputy Clerk from the Parliament, and the staff who have accompanied both of them. Let me also acknowledge the presence of our heads of mission, our friends from the United Nations. I also recognize the resident judge who has been helping out since Monday and who is present in the gallery today. I also like to extend this recognition to our distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable the President, the Vice President, and all honorable members, it is indeed both an honor and a privilege to be re-elected as the Speaker of the Fifth House. It is humbling, to say the least, that this election has been unanimous. We have a trusted process in place for the election of the Speaker of this House, one that prescribes the constitutional and procedural requirements of how the Speaker of the Bougainville Parliament is chosen. We are one of a few legislatures in the region, in the Commonwealth, and elsewhere that actually chooses and elects its Speaker from outside the House. So far, it has worked well, but that doesn't mean that this cannot be changed in the future. This is a process that requires the 3 regional parliamentary committees comprising all members of each region. As the clerk read out earlier, the North and Atolls region, the Central region, the South region. In accepting and being chosen by this House to be Speaker, I wish to express my sincere thanks and gratitude for the trust and confidence this House has placed in me. I wish to say respectfully that whichever region proposes a nominee to the office, now or in the future, the ultimate choice for the speakership is a decision of this entire House, regardless of which region is nominating the candidate. This will be my 3rd term, as I was first elected in the 3rd House, 2015 to 2020, re-elected in the 4th House, 2025, and now again in this current House, 2025-2030. I would like to emphasize that the autonomous region of Bougainville, in its desire to ensure proper process and procedure is governed by its constitutional laws and procedures. It is the Constitution and the constitutional laws that are supreme and that govern what we do in Parliament, and that must prevail in the autonomous region at all times. It is important to recognize, acknowledge, and respect these in terms of the arrangements, the relationships, the nexus between the three arms of government. We must never take this for granted, and I am happy to note that the new draft Bougainville Constitution recognizes this as well. The regard and comity, COMITI, that is the respect, between the three independent arms of government must be maintained at all times. But it is the regard also that must acknowledge that one cannot exist at the exclusion of the other. And so far, in my observation, this is worked quite well in this autonomous region. So far, the inclusivity in Bougainville, for Bougainville's whole-of-government approach is working well. When I was looking through my acceptance speech when I first assumed the role of the Speaker in the Third House, I realized that Bougainville today is in the stages of maturing as a young, vibrant, functioning democracy. I say this as someone who has seen a similar start, growth, and maturity of the National Parliament of Papua New Guinea from the from the pre-independence House of Assembly to the post-independence National Parliament. I say this also as someone who spent many years in the service of the National Parliament. It is often said that if you are in an occupation for a long time, along the way or at the end, there must be something to show for it. I am happy that having served this time in the National Parliament in Papua New Guinea, we are reaping the benefits of the experiences, the training that has been gained in serving at the Parliament. But I say this also because Bougainville is continuing this relationship with the Parliament through a parliamentary partnership agreement where the clerk and the senior officers are beginning or have begun learning the skills through attachments, through training, and through the discussions we are having because of where we are in terms of the arrangements that we have to pursue for the referendum result. I would say that the Bougainville House of Representatives, through our continued parliamentary partnership, not just with the PNG National Parliament, but more so with the Parliament of Papua New Guinea, as well as parliaments in the region of Melanesia, Polynesia, and particularly in New Zealand, where we are developing a parliamentary and legislative institution, hopefully comparable to any of our regional parliaments in the Pacific. I can unequivocally say that the foundation of Parliament in Bougainville is on firm ground. The way we are evolving, what we see and know, we must adopt and adapt. But equally, there are aspects of parliamentary procedures that may not be helpful or even detrimental to the kind and shape of the parliamentary democracy that Bougainville seeks to build. This Bougainville House of Representatives has an important role to play. Parliament is the highest institution of accountability in the system of governance we have chosen. Honorable members, the House of Representatives is 25 years old, a relatively young parliament, and indeed a young democracy. It is important at this juncture to sound a note of caution that the best way I can put it is this. In any walk of life or occupation, how we start and where we start often determines where we end up. I think Bougainville and this House has made a good start. As Speaker, as well as an observer, I can say to all members of this House that I am very confident Bougainville is on good grounds to become a strong functioning parliamentary democracy in the Oceania region. But we must follow rules, practices, and procedures. For example, in the sort of government we have elected to follow, the House must hold the executive to account whenever it is called for. There are no shortcuts and quick fixes to good governance. Bougainville, as a young and vibrant democracy, is on good grounds as we develop this democracy. I have trust and confidence in our people and in their representatives that you have chosen to this House. What we must ensure is we must make the right efforts in achieving what we have set out to do. Let me conclude by making the following observations. Bougainville and the people's faith that is encouraged where we are at the moment. Bougainville is on the right path, and in how it has nurtured its experiences and how it is following the Bougainville Peace Agreement. The Bougainville Peace Agreement has been both a path, a guide, and a statement of intent for how this was to be done under the peace process, a process that has held us together. Many of us are all too aware, and I say this to the House of Representatives, our voters, and the executives, that one of the most important ingredients for success in a democracy is holding regular elections. For us, the elections have been very regular and peaceful. The story and history of elections in Bougainville is a good and encouraging one. I hope that we will continue. All elections since the autonomy in 2005 have been peaceful. Though challenging, they have been very successful as well. Let me conclude by repeating what I said when I was first elected Speaker in this third House, in 2015. Just as you feel politically responsible in serving your constituencies, the Speaker, together with the clerk and the parliamentary service, has a role to play in ensuring that members are equipped to perform their principal roles as legislators and decision makers. We can do this in many ways. By strengthening the institution of Parliament. This will take all of us from the President down to the members to first recognize that in this system of democracy and the governance we have chosen, the Parliament is the epitome of our democracy as provided in our Constitution. The Parliament as a body comprising the people's representatives is the highest accountable body as well as an oversight body where everyone has come together through the election process. The Parliament is an institution that will best function and deliver the values that we aspire to in a democracy only when its constituent parts are well-resourced, well-served, and articulated and assisted in your political roles. This includes meaningful participation and decision-making in parliamentary in Parliament through the debates that we have, through the parliamentary committees, which are the extension of the Parliament through your direct engagement with the people. I wish to thank the President and the chairs of the regional parliamentary committees for your decision for me to assume this role as Speaker. I also wish to, at this juncture, thank the former Deputy Speaker and the Assistant Speaker who were very helpful in ensuring that with me we carried and performed this role that we have in this House. May I also thank the clerk and senior officers of the Parliamentary Service for encouraging me to serve another term as Speaker, so we can continue to give practical effect to some of the programs towards ensuring a strong parliamentary institution and a strong legislature for Bougainville. I must also thank my family for their understanding. While retirement might have been an option, they fully understand there is still much to be done in Bougainville that requires every one of us, including myself, to keep serving Bougainville. Honorable members, thank you for your confidence in choosing me as your Speaker in this 5th House. Thank you very much.